Hey you guys, it's Megan from Create Your Future. Today we have Brittany here with us. How you doing, Brittany?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. All right, you guys. Before we start, we have an amazing story today about one of Brittany's clients and how she was able to push past what she thought were, as a lot of people think, their circumstances. They can't change them, and especially when you keep seeing them over and over and over again, and you just keep reacting, it feels like a vicious cycle. So, how do you stop doing that? So we're going to get talking about that, and I think that's a really, really important thing to think about. Hope this is going to be valuable for you guys and you can take something out of it so you can realize that your circumstances don't matter because they don't, and you can change it. But I understand they can feel like they're so powerful and that they're immovable. Before we jump into this, let me remind you guys that Brittany is a co-chair. Her schedule is filling up super, super fast. So if you guys are interested, I would definitely check out right now. Go there and look at the description and schedule an appointment because, yeah, she is booking up super fast. So, okay, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is super exciting. So I wanted to tell you guys about this client that I had who, I'll just give a little bit of a backstory. She had an SP who they have a really long history together. They've been together for about 6 years. And for most of their relationship, it's just been really rocky and just had a lot of like story around just being negative all around. Like she said, he's really controlling. He doesn't trust her. They have a child together actually. And, he didn't trust her to be like alone with their child. Like it was just really, really, really bad situation for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really getting, just emotionally drained by it. And she's like, I know how this whole manifesting thing works, but,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to really work for me because we live together and I can, affirm all day, but then as soon as he does something, it triggers me and I'm just here like with him in the moment and I can't get over it. And she's like, maybe I could manifest a new SP without like any backstory, but she's like, that is not really what I want. So do
Mm-hmm.
you think I have to do that? And I'm like, no, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Like if you want this SP and you want to recreate this SP, then that's what you do. Like you can have anything you want. So if that's what you want, absolutely, we're going to work on that. So she
Yeah.
was like happy to hear that. She kind of felt relieved about that because
Mm-hmm.
she's like, all of my family and friends are telling me like I can do better and, you know, I need to just find somebody else and this and that. And I was just like, well, we're going to change all of that. Like we're changing the story. That's number one. You have to change this whole story because if you're just going to keep thinking the same way about this person, they're just going to keep showing up as that way for you. No
Mm-hmm.
matter, how much you affirm, like you have to go a little bit deeper and completely change that story about that person. And,
Absolutely.
we ended up talking, we did several sessions and, in this one of the sessions we were talking about like what were your past relationships like, besides just this SP, like what were your past relationships like. And she was like, it kind of similar, like I have
Mm-hmm.
some of these same issues like over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
I've really been trying to work on myself. And she's like, I do love myself and I do believe that I'm like worthy of love and, to be respected. And, I feel like I have a good self-concept, but I don't know why this is happening because, it's not showing up that way. So long story short, we figured out that her just general like story about relationships in general, she did not have a good view of relationships. Her parents had like a really tumultuous relationship her whole childhood and they never got divorced, but they were constantly like showing up all of their issues, to her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she grew up with. And that's kind of what she just felt about relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
we really had to change that story. And she chose to um, kind of change, some things that happened in the past, but she was like, it feels too, I don't like, I feel anxious when I'm trying to like recreate what happened and rewrite the story. So she just instead changed the meaning of that. So she's like, that was just one relationship. That was just my parents. That's not every relationship. That doesn't mean that my relationships have to be this way. And I've seen plenty of people who have successful, happy, healthy relationships. So that's not like the end all be all for relationships. So
Mhm.
by doing that, she was able to kind of let go of that old like story of relationships are hard and messy and all that.
Yeah. That's so important what you said, me, all of that, because sometimes I think you said so many good points. I don't even know where to start. I think like one thing is the self-concept piece. You know, People think, yes, I'm worthy of love. I don't have anything, but it's deeper, as you said, than that. It can be a thing of like, what your program, even like what you watch on TV or something can program you to think what relationships are like. And then they start, those are just your beliefs, and everything's outpictured based on what you're believing, what you are assuming to be true. And that's where I think the work kind of comes in, is, as you said, changing that story. Because I know for myself, you're changing your self-concept to be that person that has what they want. Everybody is you push out, but you're so right. You could affirm. And I think that's what Neville always means by vain affirmations. You could say that all day long, but if you're continuously reacting to it and not like really seeing that person differently or seeing your relationship differently or anything like that, it's going to continue to create over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where she was like at the beginning. Like she's like, I've manifested other things and I know how it works, but this is just the one thing that like I can't get past and I can't seem to like let go of what's going on. And I just reminded her like, your thoughts are what are creating everything that is going on around you. So it might feel like, that sucks that I created this, but at the same time, like that's awesome because you're the one who has the power to change it and you can change it at any time. Like it's only up to you. So you don't have to worry about looking outside of yourself for anything. Like you don't need validation, you don't need proof. The only thing that you need is your thoughts and you're number one. You're the only one who's in control.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think like for myself, I used to, it's a journey, manifesting is a journey. You learn through the things. And at one time I just thought like what I wanted to, imagine for what I wanted, it was working. Not that it was working 90, all the time, because it's working all the time. And then, one time it was like, I got in a fight with my specific person years ago. And I remember thinking, well, I'm just not going to, I hope I'm not going to talk to him all day tomorrow. I kind of went through my, like, I'm not going to say good morning. I'm going to have him chase me and I'm going to go through my day and he's going to regret this. And that was my mindset, and guess what?
Yeah.
He didn't text me in the morning. He was irritated with me. And then I was like all upset. And I was like, oh yeah, because it feels so real in that moment. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to get across was I remember that was like a real pivotal point for me because I was actually realizing, I was feeling it. I was having those inner conversations. I was doing it, which is your imagination, the whole entire thing. And it felt like, and then it showed up the next day and it was like, oh my God, like it's not just imagining for what you want to create. It's
Yeah.
all the time. So
Yeah.
it's really getting on top of that, like you said, and watching your thoughts and realizing, you have to pay attention to what story you're telling because it's going to show up. And if it shows up, not making it mean something bad, as you said, but realizing, oh my gosh, I'm that powerful. I'm that powerful. I felt that real. I had these inner conversations. It felt so natural. It showed up. Okay, great evidence. Next time I'm never doing that again, is what I said to myself.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was telling her too, because she's like, I know like I have to really be like on top of my thoughts and everything, and I feel like I am, but then when these things show up that, aren't preferred, it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong, or, it
Mhm.
means that, maybe he really does have more say than I think he does. And I was like, well, okay, number one, that's not true. Number two, like you get to change the meanings of things too.
Yeah.
So if you don't like how that feels and you don't feel like you can just ignore what happened and just say it doesn't matter, I'm still going to get what I want anyways, change the meaning of it so that it feels softer to you and you don't feel so anxious about it.
Mhm, mhm.
Really what you want to do is make yourself feel better in that moment and remind yourself like who you are, you're God of your reality, and you're still going to get what you want no matter what. It's okay that you have, emotions. Like we're human, we're going to have
Yeah,
emotions, but
exactly.
it's just being firm in that, one belief that our thoughts create. And as long as you focus on living in the end of your desire, it's going to manifest. Like it has to. That's the law.
Yeah, and you're right. It's coming down to that assumption, because if you're making the rules and you're God of your reality, then why would you make a rule if you messed up and had an emotion that you ruined your whole entire manifestation? No,
Exactly.
you make up the rule. Okay, I assumed. Guess what? This might make it happen faster.
Yep, exactly. So, what ended up happening with her is she's still working on this, and like I told her, it takes practice. Like you're not just gonna immediately get it in one day, even though
Yeah.
the rules and how to manifest. Like it takes practice. This is not something that we naturally do. We naturally focus on the negative
Mhm.
most of the time. So
Mhm.
it's going to take repetition and practice in doing this, and you're staying strong in your mental diet. But she has seen a lot of changes in him. He's been starting to tell her that like he feels like he can trust her more. And it
Mhm.
was so funny because one of the things that she rewrote in her new story was he trusts me completely. Like we've been together forever. Like he has no other option but to trust me. And he kind of
Right.
said something like that to her. Like he was like, I really feel like I can trust you more. And it's kind of silly, like that I haven't up until this point. Like we've been together so long. I feel like I have to trust you. And I was like,
Right.
see,
That's
like,
just keep persisting. It has to show up. Like you said, it's a principle. It's an ageless principle
yeah.
to show up.
Yep, exactly. So she's seeing that, and he's been like, he's been saying, I feel like I'm starting to become more aware of the way that I treat you, and I'm really working on that. So like he feels like it's a good thing too. Like he's like, I'm starting to feel better about myself, and I'm really like enjoying working on myself. Like he doesn't know that she's manifesting and like creating this whole new story or anything, but
He thinks
he's
it's his
feeling it.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's like, oh wow, like I'm so happy I'm working on myself. And she's like, excuse me, I'm working on us. But so I'm like, yeah, that's how it works.
And that brought up a really good point too, because that's thought transmission, or everybody you pushed out, same thing. And people always want to wonder how it works. Just try it. Don't even, just go out there and do it, because you want to see the best in somebody. So to say, if she was sticking to that story and what you said, she changed the story about him too. So if she was sticking in that story saying he's stubborn, he doesn't care, he's selfish, he da 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 da, but she changed the story and said he's going to be this person, he might want to work on himself. That's actually seeing the best in somebody, because if you continuously see the worst, what happens is you feel like you're protecting yourself, because that's what we've been told our whole life, but actually it's self-torture, because it comes right back to you, because they're only going to mirror the role you're playing out for them.
Yep, that is so true.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's really happy with the progress so far, and she's like, it makes it feel easier, like just seeing these little things here and there show up, even if it's not
Mhm.
exactly what I was like intending for right now. She's like, I know that it works. Like I have proof in other areas of my life, and I can, you know, use that and see that it'll work in every single area. So she's feeling really hopeful now, and she's at a really good place in the
That's
whole.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome. And you know what? You're right. I just want to say one more thing about that too, is I think people think I think we grow up in it, or we grow up, I didn't grow up in it, but I'm in that right now. But we live in a world where it's instant gratification so much, and people want to apply that to manifesting as well, instead of just being patient and
Mhm.
allowing it to come, because it has to unfold, and it's going to come in a way you don't even understand or would ever see come.
Absolutely. And like the work in getting there is the best part, because you're changing things that are like deep, sometimes a lot of like deep-seated beliefs that you didn't even know you had. And just by like working on it, practicing, building up your mind, and practicing your mental diet and strengthening that muscle,
Mhm.
you are really setting yourself up to just have an amazing life, like in all different areas of your life, not just on your SP.
Right. Absolutely. Because you start seeing that you're creating the whole entire thing. And you're so right. Looking at those beliefs that you hold from such a childhood, that you don't even know that you're carrying around with you, that baggage, you don't even know. And it's just like, and that's what coaching is great for someone to tell you the story, because they're not even aware of it.
Yep.
Like most of us, because just on autopilot, it feels so natural. Like you said, it feels so natural to reside in that state of like negativity or fear, because that's what we've been going through our whole entire life. So that's why sometimes people say it feels like work. It's just because it feels uncomfortable, because you're changing something. You're not used to it. But with anything, it's a discipline, and you're worth having the discipline to have whatever you want. I mean, you're thinking anyway, do you want to live this life, or do you want a better life? It's up to you.
Yep. Yep. It's so true.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so happy for her. And that's like a long time. And like you said, like seeing someone every day, like that can be like triggering. And she was able to work through that. That's really, really amazing. And you did a
Yeah.
great job helping her.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her because I know it does take work. So,
Mhm.
she's really been putting in the work, and she's feeling so much better, and she's starting to see lots of results. So she's really happy.
Oh, that's amazing. Awesome. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you guys remember, thank you guys. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and definitely check out the description in this description below, I guess. Whatever for Brittany, because she is filling up really fast and she's getting amazing results. So if you guys want something that you want to create your reality, check it out. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.